Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Caterpillar Mining webinar. My name is Araceli Sanchez, and I am a senior marketing consultant supporting parts and service for Caterpillar Global Mining based in Tucson, Arizona. I'm very excited to bring to you today's topic, repair options for Cat mining machines, extending the life of your equipment. Today, we'll be talking about the importance of machine maintenance, inspections, condition monitoring, and how Cat dealers offer flexible solutions that can help reduce downtime, improve availability, and lower your total cost of ownership. Please note that this event is being recorded and will be made available for viewing in the future. I realize there may be dealers, customers, or competitors attending today or watching the recording later. And so we just want to make sure we don't share any competitive information that's sensitive. Basically, we won't be discussing today things like pricing, discounts, terms, and the like. And if you are an existing customer, feel free to contact your Cat dealer for any specific information that you see here today. Now, with me on the call are Lina, Ahmed, and Anthony Webster. Lina is currently a mining repair options subject matter expert supporting Europe, Africa, Middle East, and CIS regions. Since joining Caterpillar in 2021 as a senior parts and services consultant, Lina has had responsibilities supporting dealers with aftermarket strategies and repair option offerings by helping dealers deliver reliable, value-driven solutions to mining customers. Anthony began his career at Caterpillar in the Melbourne Distribution Center and worked through various parts logistics roles. He spent several years in machine marketing, introducing the F-Series wheel loaders and H-Series motor graders in Australia and New Zealand. He also worked for 15 years as a sales rep, assisting Caterpillar dealers in Australia, Beijing, and South Korea. This led to a number of years on the Reman team based in Perth, Jakarta, and Melbourne, and finally to his current position with the repair options team as the subject matter expert for mining products in APD. But before we get started today, just a few housekeeping items. Please note that this event is scheduled for only 1 hour. And the screen in front of you today is interactive, so feel free to navigate and explore all the buttons and sections surrounding this presentation. For example, you can find more information about today's speakers as well as myself in the presenter bio section on the bottom left hand of your screen. And as a special treat, we'll be asking you, our audience today, to participate by answering a few polls. Should you have any questions at any time during the webinar, use the Q&A section on the bottom right hand of your screen and type in your questions. We'll be answering them throughout today's webinar. Here is today's agenda. We'll have our experts walk you through our current powertrain repair options with level 1 through level 3 parts. They'll also be discussing machine rebuild repair options with a focus on our certified rebuild program. The last 15 minutes or so will be dedicated to a Q&A. Now let's kick things off with a quick video on mining repair options and machine rebuilds.
You choose Cat equipment to get the best for your operation. That's why it's critical to protect that investment by performing the needed repairs on schedule and before failure. Whether critical components like engine, drivetrain, and hydraulics, or a full machine rebuild, you can count on Caterpillar for the lowest total cost and the quickest turnaround time, maximizing uptime. After all, who better to trust for repairs than the OEM that designed components specifically to be rebuilt? Your Cat dealer offers the broadest range of options tailored to your needs. From quick time to quote, to tiered price offerings, to quality and reliability. You get their expert advice for the best solution, whether minor repairs, dealer exchange, Cat reman, or new. Plus, check out upgrades and enhancements for added comfort, safety, and performance. So, you get tiered options, less downtime, and superior components for your machine's second life. That's sustainability, and it all starts with your Cat dealer. Ask about custom repair options and rebuilds today.
That was a great video.
You choose Cat equipment to get the best for your operation.
That was a great video. I will turn things over to Lina now to give us an introduction to powertrain repair options. Lina, how are you today?
Hi, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for making the time today to attend this repair option for CAD mining machines. My name is Lina Ahmed. I'm the RO SME for EME and CIS region. I'm part of the
Hi,
repair option
Lina.
global
Let me stop
team.
you very quickly. Your audio is sounding just a little bit odd. Let's check that audio very quickly. Let's have you try one more time.
You can hear me clear now?
No, I'm hearing some distortion over on your end.
Distortion.
And just a little bit of distortion. How about we'll get you to maybe adjust your mic or turn it on and turn it back off for just a second. And while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and guide the audience over to a poll. So I'll go ahead and ask the audience to answer a question. So we'd like to find out more information about what are some of your repair options. So everybody on your screen, what you should be seeing now is a quick question. What is the most important, or what is most important to you in a repair solution? I'll give you a couple of seconds for you to read through the options. Is it A, speed of repair? Is that the most important thing when you think about a repair solution? Is it accurate quoting? Or multiple options at different price points? Or maybe it's planned maintenance. So if you could select just one answer, what is the most important thing to you in your mining application as a repair solution? We'll give everybody a couple more seconds. We're getting everybody here on the line who is answering the question. Just helps us to find out a little bit more about you. And then we'll check in again with Lina just to see how things are going.
All right. You can hear the same distortion?
Still the same distortion, Lina. It's okay.
So shall I log out and log in again? Is that okay?
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll be here waiting for you. Not a problem. All right. So maybe we'll give it another 5 or 10 seconds. So those of you in the audience today, you're seeing a question pop up on your screen. What is the most important thing to you when it comes to a repair solution? And go ahead and select one of those answers. Now go ahead and hit next. Let's go ahead and see what the audience had to say. Great. So it looks like the majority of our audience here today, 66% is saying that planned maintenance is the single most important thing when it comes to a repair solution. And then in second place, multiple options at different price points. Not shocking. I think we have the right experts today here who can talk to you about what those solutions are. And then we'll be hopefully kicking things off here with Lina here pretty soon. Lina, I see you rejoined. How are you sounding?
Yeah, hopefully it works better now. Is it?
You sound amazing. You sound amazing. I'll hand things over to you.
All right. Thank you, Ara. All right. So thank you, everybody, for making the time today to attend the repair options for CAD mining machines. My name is Lina Ahmed, and I am the RO SME cover EME and CIS region. So I'm part of the repair options global team, and we as a team execute the repair option methodology. And we are responsible for global dealer deployment on repair options. We focus on engine hydraulics and drivetrain across all mining models. That includes the CAD certified rebuild program. So what you can see here, the powertrain overview, I'll take you through pretty quick. Just to have an understanding and how Caterpillar defines the powertrain. So we define the powertrain as an engine and drivetrain components linked together. So those components consist of the engine, torque converter, transmission, transfer gear case, drive shaft, differential, and final drives. So as you see, the graphic here is for 740 articulated truck. So the engine basically makes the power, the torque converter smoothen and multiplies power before reaching the transmission, which can change gears. Now the drive shafts carry the power while the differential splits the power left and right to the final drive, and then allow the tires to get the power and the machine to get into moving. So the powertrain illustration that you can see just simplifies the complexity of engineering into an essential steps, generating and managing and transferring and finally applying those power needed to move those giant loaded mining machines. Just want to remind you, if you have any question, just kindly throw it in the Q&A box. You can free ask us and we'll take those after the session. So we can see a question here, and I would like you guys to push the button on the selection that you think is the best work for you. What is your current repair strategy? So option A is repair on failure. Option B is repair on condition. C, repair on time. And D, repair before failure. So kindly select your options. We'd love to see your response to that. Give you a couple of minutes so you can complete the task. Thank you so much. All right, let's go and find out the results. Repair before failure, I like that. That's a good indicator. So thank you for making the choices. Appreciate that. Okay, let's jump into the parts, level 1 parts. So level 1 parts, they're designed actually to wear and they protect mating parts. So they are 100% replacement. We recommend to replace those 100% at the time during the rebuild. So they are included anti-friction bearings, seal gasket, and thrust washers. They're, as you can see, they're highlighted in blue in the picture. So level 1 drivetrain parts, they are anti-friction bearings and seals. Level 1 drivetrain parts are relatively inexpensive compared to costly drivetrain parts. And the coming like level 2 and level 3, which I will take you through in shortly. So what is the philosophy for level 1 parts? Don't let them go without attending them and replace them at a time of rebuild, because doing so could cause more severe and expensive damage to the other level 2 and level 3 parts. Some customers actually may ask us and get this question, why bearings, especially the large wheel bearings, are not reusable, particularly when they have no sign of wear or damage. Actually, the issue with the bearing reuse is the potential for fatigue failure, and there's currently no way to inspect bearings for fatigue damage. So it's better to replace those parts at time. Okay. Level 2 parts. They are slower actually wearing parts designed with reusability in mind. We have all the reuse and salvage guidelines for those parts. Parts included are plates, disc, gears, and shaft. So as we said, level 2 parts will be reusable if properly cared for during the first life. But if we don't care for them and extend the component life, so they allowed to fail, and then we cannot reuse some of the parts, and it will also affect the next level parts. Just a reminder, that's very important. Okay. Take you to the level 3 parts. Level 3 parts are designed to last the life of the machine and only needed to be replaced after catastrophic failure. So they are cases housing carriers, hubs, and main shafts. Those level 3 parts actually designed to last the machine, as I mentioned, and if there is a proper maintenance and repair practices and it's followed. So they should typically never have to be replaced. So they are available most of the time at Caterpillar, but they are significantly higher when it comes to the cost side versus the level one parts. So level 3 parts include the transmission cases, housing, and carriers that I mentioned. Also, the final drive cases, hubs, shaft, and carriers. Okay, why repair options? Very good question. We'll come to know now. What are the customers saying? Okay. So we agreed, Caterpillar and Cat Dealer, and committed to meet customer service needs. That means offering a customer the complete range of parts and repair options to capture the maximum value of their machine and component investment across the machine lifecycle. So the repair option strategy is about working together to serve customers differently in order to meet customer needs. With that, we are looking for here a broad range of options. The customer is looking for that. Having multiple repair options will meet most customer needs. Actually, a full range of repair option that consists of minimum 3 offerings. One of those options should be less than 50% off new. That's what the customer expectation. Second, the expert advice. So customers have many sources of information to reference from. Most customers have relationship also with other credible service and parts providers. But the best way our dealers differentiate from our competitors is being the experts on keeping Caterpillar equipment running. So this expert advice consists of focusing on lowering the O&O cost, which stands for owning and operating cost. However, understanding customer purchase drivers is another critical element of offering the expert advice. And what is the best repair option to serve the customer needs? And last, we have the timely quote, and that's the expectation, of course, from our customers. And we've conducted many VOC in the past, which stand for the voice of customer. And it tells us actually customers seeking for 3 repair options. They want multiple options on the table to be offered. They expect a quote within 24 hours. So Caterpillar dealer have the ability to do so, to send an estimate quote within 24 hours and then followed by a detailed quote provided when actually the machine disassembled at the component rebuild center. So I encourage you, everybody, to ask your dealer about the model-specific price ladder for better understanding of the machine rebuild option and the pricing, and as I mentioned, compared to new. So you should compare that rebuild price or the rebuild offering that the dealer making versus a new component or new machine. Next slide, I'm talking about the repair option purchase drivers. Those are the primary purchase drivers. So, as you can see here in this graph, we focus on those primary purchase drivers. Why? They used to develop an understanding of customer needs. Those purchase drivers actually relate to the investment. It could include many factors like ownership. For how long does the customer intend to keep the machine or own the machine? What is the expected residual value at the end of asset life? For example, utilization is another element that's important to the customer. Number of hours, the work environment, and that also depends on the application and mindset. And then the financial option or the financial aspect of that is very important, which represent the cash investment. And what is the customer expectation of a price? That's why we mentioned we need to have multiple price points to serve our customer and serve their needs. And the last important and very important option is the expected turnaround time. One is the customer expectation to get the equipment back to service. So actually, understanding those purchase drivers helps the dealer customer facing staff to offer the correct repair option to the customer. Is actually also from the customer perspective, understanding those purchase drivers is important to help aiding the dealer on what option the best that helps the customer current situation. Okay, what you can see here on the screen is the repair options definition. I'll take you through that. It's actually part of the repair option framework. This framework defines the baseline. So I say a baseline means it's, again, different from one dealer to one dealer. There are lots of elements that differentiate a dealer from another, but we create this as a baseline, as a customer solution for both maintenance and replacement parts categories, as well as the parts offerings related to repair options opportunities. So while we develop this framework, we actually focus on how customer approaches those purchase decisions. And that talked about the previous slide when I talked about the attributes and the purchase drivers. Which part of the repair options is the best for each customer? Not just by industry segment, but all the buying habits that the customer do as well. So what is a repair option definition? In general, if you want to really simply define repair options, it's a part or service solution offered by CAD dealer to a customer and include multiple options, actually. A new reman, dealer exchange, could be a repair or rebuild, as well as the parts kits or general duty parts. So it requires actually our dealers to consult with the customer very well in advance to make the best selection across a broad range of options that they can offer to our customers. So when we talk about those level of repair option that you can see on the screen, we have in the framework, we have 5 levels of repair option. The basic one, level 1, which is, as I mentioned, parts replace 100% of the time, seals, gasket, rings, bearings, and other items. And you could do level 1 or level 1 parts option for the major component, like the engines, transmission, final drive. That's after inspection, of course. Common level 2 option that you can see on the screen, they have reusable parts, include maybe injector gears and other elements. Maybe reusable parts might include plates, disc, and gears. And as I mentioned before in details, those parts have a reusability guidelines, and when it follow at the correct time, we avoid other major catastrophic damage to the component. When we want to talk about level 3, which is very important, they're designed to go beyond replace and repair. It's a building a system for another life. So there are 3 types of rebuilds, as you can see on the screen. Complete rebuild. This uses actually the customer core component and returns them to new states, the percent of a new. The second one is the dealer exchange rebuild. It's offered by CAD dealer. This can also give the customer faster turnaround time and reduce costs. And then the last one, there's a certified rebuild offered to complete rebuild of customer-owned core components. So there are multiple options actually in level 3. If you look at level 4 and level 5 repair options, they are also rebuild options, but they are differentiated based on the type of parts and components included. So level 4 rebuilds include the CAD reman components, and level 5 rebuilds are differentiated from level 4 rebuilds by including everything new and genuine CAD parts. At this level, level 5, the clock can start from 0 hours and it will work another life equal to a new piece of equipment. And with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Anthony Webster. Anthony, you have the mic.
Okay, thanks, Lina. Well, welcome and good afternoon, good morning to everybody out there. My name's Anthony Webster, as Ara introduced me earlier. I'm the SME looking after repair options for the Asia Pacific division, which is basically Japan West and India East. So I've got the Asia territory. What I want to do today is go through a few things about machine rebuilds. We'll go through a number of items, but first of all, let's have another one of our polls. Before we had some ideas of where you are and what you're doing, but today we're looking at, are you currently doing a repair before failure strategy for your mining equipment? Now, if you don't know what repair before failure is, that's probably the most economical way to do maintenance on any of our Caterpillar machines or any machines in particular. And that's before it goes bang or it fails. So please go ahead and let's see how many people we can get to submit an answer to this one. So the A is yes and the B is no. So we've got a few people coming in. Have we got some more that can put an A or a B in there, please? We've got 5. And there's a few more people out there that can submit an answer on this. Let's see how many we can get. I need to get more than Lina. We look like we're probably stuck at about five or so submissions. So let's have a look at the results. So there we go. Perfect. So a repair before failure strategy is one of the cheapest ways to maintain your machines. There are some things. A primary example is a light globe. You would not repair before failure. You would repair that on failure. So when it fails, you replace it. But things that had catastrophic damage can cost a lot of money or need planning if they need replacing. They ideally are replaced before the failure occurs. Okay, so let's get on with some of our full machine options. So what I want to talk about is some of the options that are available to our customers, a little bit about the CAT Certified Rebuild Program. A lot of people probably aware of this. It's a CCR. It's gone through a couple of iterations in the last few years, but we'll talk about that in some depth. Some of the common requirements for the Certified Rebuild Program and how it can benefit you and some of the options that we've got in there. And last but not least, we'll have a look at the full machine rebuild, which is basically everything that is above just a component rebuild. So anything that is not an engine rebuild or a transmission change out, we consider a machine rebuild. So in two main categories, we have a dealer rebuild, which is where you and the customer, you and the dealer, I should say, determine how you rebuild that machine, to what scope, what the budget is for that machine rebuild. And Caterpillar don't get involved in that in a very large degree. The primary decision-making is between yourselves and the person doing the rebuild, hopefully the Caterpillar dealer. Then you have the Caterpillar Certified Rebuild. That's when Caterpillar and the dealer determine what needs to be done. Caterpillar has a very big influence in this. We understand how the machines were manufactured in the first instance. We understand what needs to be updated in those machines to make them go another life. And that's what we have as our standard part for a certified rebuild. There's no reason that you and the dealer cannot go over and above that level, but we insist on a minimum level for that certified rebuild. For doing that, we have a few other options. You can use Caterpillar Finance. You can use Caterpillar Insurance. So we can get extended warranties on these CAT certified rebuilds because we know what the condition is. We know what is being rebuilt. And so we can warrant those a lot better than we can if it's a standard dealer rebuild. So if we look at this, the purpose of the CCR program, the Caterpillar Certified Rebuild Program, is to demonstrate the second life that we build into all our machines. So when you buy a Caterpillar machine, you're not just buying it for the life, maybe 20,000 hours for an engine, up to 80, 100,000 hours for the machine. You can actually rebuild that machine and get a second life out of that. So you can take it out for a full second life if you do a certified rebuild. So that's how Caterpillar demonstrate the value of the CAT product. There are some must-use parts. So things that Lina went through before, the level 1 parts, they must be replaced. There is no question about that. There is no negotiation. They must be replaced. When it comes to the level 2 parts, the things that may be reused, they can only be reused according to our specific reuse and salvage guidelines, which ensures that they will last a second life. So if there's any question that they will not last the second life, they are replaced. So they can be replaced with either a CAT new part, a salvage part from the dealership, or even a CAT reman part. So there's a number of options that are there. It doesn't always have to be a Caterpillar new part that must be used. The other thing that comes in is we take that machine, regardless of where it was in the production line of that model, we take it to its last serial number prefix machine model. So we put all the updates in there, and if there's any changes, product updates, safety updates, we make sure that they're all incorporated in that new rebuild. So it's a very comprehensive rebuild, and you should get back a machine that is as good as the last machine that came off the assembly line of that particular model, regardless of whether it was the first or the second last machine on the CAT side. What we need to do is we need to make sure that the machines that you're giving us are actually rebuildable. So there is a point in there that the core that you give the CAT dealer must be rebuilt. It must be a rebuildable condition. If it is not, we have some other options. We can put new frames in, various other things. But to get the full life, if you've looked after your machine, if it's well maintained and it's in your mine site, is a good quality, the haul roads are good, there's a very good chance that you can rebuild that machine for a very reasonable price. Some of the things that must happen as part of the certified rebuild, these guarantee that you get the best possible rebuild available in the industry. First one is it must be rebuilt by a Caterpillar dealer. So the CAT dealer must rebuild your machine, cannot be done by a customer or a third party. Caterpillar dealers are the only ones that have a lot of the proprietary information and the proprietary scope that enables the machines to be rebuilt. Only CAT parts can be used, so third party or Wilfoot parts are not allowed in a certified rebuild. So that's to make sure that we get a full second life out of these components. The dealer must perform the standard scope of work. So Caterpillar dictate what the rebuild must look like, what the scope of work is, and that must be adhered to as part of the program to be certified as a certified Caterpillar product. Each of our dealers go through a process and must run by the Caterpillar scopes of work. One of the things that also must be done is Caterpillar dealers must provide you, the customer, a full warranty statement, and if there's extended warranties, EPPs we call it, through CAT insurance, that must be identified at the same time. So there's a number of things that must be done by the dealer to enable you get the full value of the certified rebuild. these are just some of the benefits that you get from having a certified rebuild over a machine rebuild or a dealer rebuild. You have your machine or the economics of that machine maximized. So like I said before, if you buy a new cut machine, you don't just buy it for one life, you can rebuild that machine multiple times. And that's where the economic value of that machine comes through. You get the latest technology. So if you have a fleet of machines, all the same technology level, you put a new machine into that fleet, you will have trouble trying to match the fleet between those two models. One of the options you can do is rebuild the older machines in that fleet, and you continue with that same technology level. So there's no problem with changing technology. Your mechanics, your workshop are familiar with that machine. Your operators are. They're all running at the same speeds, the same cycle times. So there's a lot of advantage of keeping that same model in your fleet if you've got a large fleet of machines. You will get all the updates. So all that, if there was any updates done during the life of that model, they'll all be done when the machines are updated and rebuilt. The good thing is we have a number of different levels of certified rebuild. So depending on your budget and flexibility, how long you can be without that machine, we have probably an option for you in there as well. As I said, there's some extended coverage options that we can offer you through CAT insurance and CAT finance, including CVAs or customer value agreements. They're also available. So they're available for new machines, and just as in the new machines, we can offer them on the CAT rebuild machines as well. And as I said, CAT financing is available through our CAT financial arm. If anyone's got any questions, please put them into the chat, and we can answer them as we go along as well. This is a CMR, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but the CMR, or the Certified Machine Rebuild, that is the top level machine rebuild in the Certified Rebuild program. If you go into the CMR option, you'll receive a machine that is as good as the new machine that comes off the assembly line at Caterpillar. This is where the machine is totally broken down. It is pulled apart. Every component is changed out. All the wiring harnesses are changed. Everything is renewed, serviced, repaired, or replaced. And so what comes out of the dealer facility is a machine that is as good as the new product coming off the CAT assembly line. So if you're after a new machine that meets the criteria we were talking about before, as in keeping the current technology, this is a product that is very much an option for you in that area. The next one down from there is what we call a certified powertrain, or a CPT. We talked about this as being the radiator to the wheel nuts. So anything that's involved in the motive power of that machine is touched, is renewed, and is given at least a second life. So this is a good option for a lot of customers, where they don't want to spend a lot of money on the body or the chassis of the machine that's in very good condition. Maybe the cab is in okay condition, and they don't want to spend a lot of money. This is the better option, because at least here you will know that all of the powertrain, so the radiator, the engine, torque converters, transmissions, diffs, are all in very good condition. Excuse me. So as I said, this is a very good compromise in the certified rebuild. We, as Caterpillar, give the full scope of the works of this product. and so it is controlled by Caterpillar and conducted by the dealer. So Caterpillar give the dealer the scope for each of the models, and the dealer conducts the rebuilds. So it doesn't matter whether that dealer is in South Africa or in Europe or Australia or North America. If they're doing a CPT on a model, you should expect that same quality and the same scope of works from all of those dealers, because it's centralized with Caterpillar. This is a slight variation to the CPT. This is called the CPT plus H. This is where we do a CPT, which is the complete drivetrain and powertrain rebuild. So again, from the radiator to the wheel nuts, plus it also includes the hydraulics. So if you've got a machine, a wheel loader or a tractor that is very hydraulically orientated, this could be an option for you as well. So it's all of the powertrain, plus it includes the hydraulics as well. Then we have one of the lower levels in the certified rebuild program. This is the certified machine component rebuilds. So this is if you only want to change out a component. Let's say the engine has become has gotten to the end of its usable life. You can change that out. That's called the first one there, the CMCRE. So it's a certified rebuild. It only changes out the engine and the radiator, but it can also be financed through CAT Finance, and it can be insured through the CAT insurance program with what we call an EPP, or extended program protection, product protection. You can see there's one for transmission and torque converters. There's one for final drives. It's only the powered final drives. So those that have a motive force. There's the differential. If you add the final drives and the differential, that's what we call the axle. So the axle is just the combined final drive and differential portion of the certified rebuild. There's also a new option coming through called for hydraulic pumps. So if you're interested in the hydraulic pumps, contact the CAT dealer and they'll have information on that for you as well. All right, we have another poll. So let's see if we can get as many as we can onto this one. So how do you perform the service and repairs on your machines? The first one is A, I do it myself. So you have a workshop, you have technicians, they're all trained up and do most of your work. The second one, B, is I use a CAT dealer. The third one, I use a local workshop. So it's where you don't do the work in-house. You take it to a third party that is not a CAT dealer. There's a diesel mechanic or a heavy mechanic. And then D is all of the above, and that's where, depending on the scope of the work, you may actually use all of those. So A, B, and C. So let's go ahead and see how many people we can get on this one. Can we get some more people? This is also a test to see who's still listening out there. No, looks like we're pretty much got as many. There we go. There's one more. Is there anyone else? Okay. So yeah, so there's a couple of people that do all of the above, and that does make sense because depending on the scope of the work required, sometimes a lot of customers do their own maintenance work, and they call the dealer in for the more difficult products, an engine rebuild or a transmission rebuild. But yeah, so that's a very good reaction to that question, I think. All right. This is a chart that shows all of the component rebuilds and the repair options that Lina was talking about, the machine rebuilds that I've been talking about. And what we like to think is that every customer is on here somewhere. What the idea is, between yourselves and the CAT dealer, you can work out where you fit. So you're a level 1, a level 2, through to 5, or you're one of the dealer rebuilds, a CPT, or a certified machine rebuild, a CMR. So what we like to think is that our dealers are there to help you and counsel you to get the best option for you, whether it's financial, whether it's turnaround time, or utilization. Because if the machine's only doing 50 hours a month, maybe you don't need to have the gold-plated CMR. Maybe you just need to change out the components as they become due for replacement. So they're the types of things that we'd like to think that you can enlist the support of our CAT dealer network and get the best options for you for your machines. So in summary, what we'd like to say is there are options. There's a broad range of repair options available to you through our CAT dealer network. All our CAT dealer technicians are Caterpillar trained. They are experts in the Caterpillar product. They are up to date with the Caterpillar product. A lot of our third-party rebuilders claim they're Caterpillar trained, but they may not be up to date. So have a look at your CAT dealers, get a timely and accurate quote from those people, get the repair, work with your dealer, and make sure you get the best results possible. They're there to help you as a Caterpillar customer. The other thing we'd like to say is there's a lot of packages that we can offer to the repair options area, whether that's the EPP or whether that's the financing package. The dealers have a lot of tools, both the internal dealer tools and also Caterpillar tools available to them for the options repair for you customers that we need there. Okay, I think that's probably about it. If anyone's got any more questions, please put them in the chat and we'll pass back to you, Ara.
Yeah, thanks so much, Anthony. And thank you for walking us through all of the repair options and the rebuild offerings that are currently available. We have been getting some questions. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the Q&A portion of our webinar and continue to encourage our audience to submit your questions into that chat box. We'll go ahead and address those here today. So the first question is, how do you control component wear? Is that even possible?
Yeah, I'll take that one. It is. One of my old roles was the certified with the scheduled oil sampling. So we saw a lot the impact that poor quality lubrication and bad maintenance practices have on wear. So if you have the best quality oil possible and you maintain those machines on a condition basis and replace them and repair them when needed, that's the best way to get a long life out of your components. But definitely good quality oil and good maintenance practices is probably the two key items.
Great. So let me go and check out another question here. Regarding rebuilds, can I rebuild my own engines for it to be considered a certified rebuild?
Yeah, I'll take that one again. No. It's a very easy answer, that one. The answer is no. The engine, in this case an engine, but it doesn't matter what component it is, must be either rebuilt by the Caterpillar dealer in-house to the Caterpillar specifications, the certified rebuild specification, or it must be a Caterpillar reman product. So that's a product that's been remanufactured, not just rebuilt, but remanufactured in the Caterpillar factories. So it comes back to Caterpillar, goes back on the assembly line, and gets rebuilt as if it was a new component. Or, of course, you can put a new component in. So whether it's a new engine or a new transmission. But no, for it to be classified as a certified rebuild, it must be one of those three options. A customer or third party cannot rebuild the engine and it be accepted as a certified rebuild.
And a related question, possibly from the same person, can I do a certified rebuild on my Hitachi excavator? So that would be a non-Cat machine. Is that possible?
Again, no. One of the benefits of buying Caterpillar is that they are rebuildable. That's why we introduced the certified rebuild a bit over 30 years ago now. But that's an advantage of Caterpillar product. So you only get that if you buy a Caterpillar machine.
Great, thanks for that answer. And I think I have a question here for Lina. So Lina, if you can come back on, how do I know which repair level I need for my machine? How does one make that decision?
The best way to do that actually is the customer consult with a PSSR or dealer-facing staff that they have multiple range of repair options on the table to offer from the framework we just showed. Back when I started my slides, there are 5 levels of repair options. There are the purchase drivers, attributes, so many factors to be considered, the customer budget, the utilization, the application of the machine, and so other elements that suits exactly the customer needs. So a proper consultation, and I'll say, well, I think all the mining customers are aware that has to be those rebuilds has to be well planned in advance so they can ensure the rebuilds happen at the time. They don't push those components into failure, and they do it at the exact interval recommended by the baseline that we suggested in the framework. So that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's great advice. Let's go ahead and get people connected to their dealer. But in a related note, there is somebody here asking if a dealer can actually help to develop an entire rebuild strategy. And if so, how can they find out who their dealer even is?
There are, within Caterpillar dealer network, there are pretty much dealer in every region, in every area, in all countries. Find out your dealer. There's a good, at cat.com, there are tools that help you to find the closest dealership to you. So you can go and ask for consultation or drop a request through cat.com. Also, the dealer will get in touch with you. That's the easy way to do it and the best and safe source to do it, to perform your rebuild.
Wonderful. And cat.com/mining is one of the best places to go ahead and connect you to your local dealer. You just fill out your form. Everybody can, based on their region, get connected immediately to their corresponding dealer. Question for you, Anthony. Can I use remanufactured parts in a Cat certified rebuild? So we're talking about reman now.
Yes, yep, definitely. All Cat reman parts are considered equally as good and warranted the same as new parts. So if you can use new parts, you can use Cat reman parts if they're available. So yes, definitely.
Great. So I'm not seeing any other questions at the moment, but if there's anybody else in the audience who'd like to spend some time asking the experts here today, we have a few minutes left before our webinar is over. But definitely reach out to your local Cat dealer for additional support and guidance. Definitely take advantage of that consultation with your local Cat dealer in order to understand what offerings are available to you at which price point and what makes the most sense for your fleet. Looking here one more time, just checking in the questions. This is a great one, Anthony. Let me go ahead and send this one to you. Just came through. What types of trainings can Caterpillar provide to better equip a company to enhance their own capabilities of doing component rebuilds in their own CRC?
Yep. We do a lot of work with the dealer, and then therefore the dealer with the customer when a customer decides that they want to create their own CRCs or their component rebuild centers. So where they want to do their own engine rebuilds, transmission rebuilds, torque converter rebuilds, final drives, things like that. So there are options. I suggest that you would talk to the local dealer. If you're looking at creating your own rebuild center, definitely I expect you would know who your Cat dealer is, but yeah, they would be your first point of call, and then they would bring Caterpillar people like myself and others as needed. But definitely your Cat dealer would be the first port of call to go into that area.
Great. Well, thank you, both of you. So Lina and Anthony, thanks again for coming and talking to us for a full hour. And also thank you to our participants for joining the webinar today. And thanks for learning a little bit more about what repair options are available and how machine rebuilds for mining work. If you have additional questions, want to learn a little bit more about repair options, want to get connected to some of our resources, make sure to visit cat.com/mining. Thank you again for joining, and remember to mine safely. Goodbye.